welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I am Terry. Looks like it will be a solo Friday show today, which is all good. Looking back at yesterday, my best bet cashed the over in the New Jersey St. Louis game, and my secondary best bet, because I didn't want to give a plus 180 as my best bet, Nico Hischier scored again to continue his goal scoring streak as of late. So cashed both of those bets yesterday. Overall, a good day, and overall, the player props have been doing really well for me as of late. So I have some more today, and I'm ready to break them down. Jay Stone, obviously a Blackhawks fan. Well, not obviously for those who don't know him, but definitely follows the Blackhawks heavily. Arizona plus 1.5 and over 5.5 plus 150. Is it me, or is this price insane? I'd pull up the dump truck if I didn't lose half my bankroll on the last two Dallas Stars games. I'm right there with you with the Stars. They burnt me the last two games as well. So I'm right there with you in that. And then the Arizona game we'll get to. I'll talk about it, obviously, a little bit later on the slate. Kings lost me my plus $10,000 parlay last night. Oof. Oh, that sucks. That game I completely stayed off of. But sorry that you lost there. Chicago tanking. Arizona. Arizona wants to win. Seems like Chicago throws the third period on purpose. And that's the thing, is that just because a team finishes last does not mean they're getting Connor Bedard. The draft lottery will happen. I was actually reading an article. Obviously, I don't believe it, but they were saying that Arizona will win the draft lottery because Bettman obviously wants the Coyotes to stay in Arizona. Obviously, we'll see what happens. But honestly, Jay Stone, I'm sorry, but I really don't want Bedard to go to Chicago. Send him to Columbus. Send him to the Eastern Conference. We don't need a player like that in the Wilds division. But what's up, Terry? What's up, Kev? Thanks for coming on in. Richie, smashing like as always. Much appreciated. Thanks for Vegas plus 150 the other day. Hey, no problem. The Golden Knights, they've been playing well. And I should have been on Eichel props yesterday. I didn't know he was going to come back so strong in his first game back. Why the F would you take the Kings? Sorry for the F, LOL. Well, a lot of sharp people like the Kings yesterday. They've been playing well. But for me, and even with Swayman and that as well, like I can't fade the Bruins very often. It's not something I look to do, but we'll jump into today's slate and get into the first game. We have the Florida Panthers and the Detroit Red Wings. Florida minus 150 to minus 162. Detroit plus 125 to plus 135. 6.5s right across the board in this one. We will have Ville Husso in net for Detroit. Sergei Bobrovsky for Florida in this one. Before even knowing the goaltenders, I knew that Husso was going to start. I read from a beat reporter that it was going to be Husso. If you look at his overall season numbers, they're definitely not as impressive as they were a couple weeks ago. He and Detroit themselves have been letting in a lot of goals. They've been a high-scoring team. Florida's gone over 6.5 in 3 of their last 4 games. 8 of Florida's last 9 games have had at least 6 goals scored. There has been a few games where it's landed on 6. Yesterday for me, it sucks having over 6.5 in 2 different games, and Seattle winning 5-1, and then the Colorado game, Vancouver winning 4-2. It really sucks when you got over 6.5 and there's 6s, but that's the way she goes. Detroit has gone over 6.5 in 5 of their last 7. The 2 games that didn't finished with 6 goals. So both these teams are going over. 3 of the last 4 meetings between Florida and Detroit have gone over 6.5. The one game that didn't this year, 5-1 final. So I'm a bit worried that this game lands on 6. I won't be overly surprised if it does. but I'm taking the over 6.5 with the way these two teams are playing. I don't really have an opinion on the side. Florida minus 150 on the road isn't something I'm interested in. Detroit plus 140 at home. They've struggled against Florida for a long time. So this side, I don't really have too much of an opinion on. But I have Matthew Tkachuk over 1.5 points, which you can get for plus 174. He got a hat trick in his last game. I do expect a lot of offense because I am on the over 6.5 minus 110. So I expect goals, and I took Lucas Raymond from Detroit to score at plus 275. So I like Tkachuk over 1.5 points, Lucas Raymond to score, and the over 6.5. I get it. Yeah. I guess I'm dull then. Well, no, you're not dull. Recap Kraken money line winner. I said it on the show yesterday for anybody. I said that the Kraken, that I wish I would have pulled the trigger on it, because I said that the Kraken should not have been that big of a plus price against the Leafs, and it cashed. But money left on the table, but it is what it is. Yotes over 6, Preds money line, Devils over 6.5, Caps puck line, Bruins puck line, push in the Edmonton over 6, and the Habs. Those Habs. Sorry to hear about that last part, Richie, but great night for you. It was my plus money parlay, Kraken, Blues, Caps minus 1.5, Preds, and then Kings. So close. Stupid Canadians killed my shot in the dark parlay. Hey, if you're doing a parlay with dogs, it's going to be tough. Obviously, dogs do cash, but getting a whole bunch of dogs in one night, it's going to be tough. But we'll move on along to the second game here. Nashville Predators plus 140 to plus 147. Washington Capitals minus 150 to minus 177. 6.5s. There are a couple sixes available in this game. I jumped on the over 6 in this one. I don't want the over 6.5, as I said, with how things have been going with my overs. Not all of them, obviously, but with some of my overs lately. Both of these teams went over last night when they both played in their respective games. Nashville 3-0-1 in their last 4 games, playing pretty good hockey as of late. They've scored at least 4 in their last 4 games. All 4 games went over 6.5. Washington 7-0-2 in their last 9 games. They kind of had a bit of a rough start to the season. We're kind of looking old, but have since rebounded. Even when they were injured, they started playing well during that stretch. Nashville, they've gone over in their last 4 games. And their last 3 games have gone over 7.5. So the Capitals are going over. And when you look at when these teams have played each other in Washington in the past, 7 of the last 9 meetings went over 6.5. I expect goals in this. I took the over 6 in this one between Nashville and Washington. I'm taking Ovechkin to score at plus 100. Obviously not a big plus price, but Ovechkin to score at plus money, it's got to be a play with how he's been playing. I'm also taking Philip Forsberg for Nashville anytime goal, plus 180, by far and away the leading goal scorer on Nashville. He's been hot as of late as well, so plus 180 is a great price, and I'm on the over 6 minus 120. Nashville and the over 6. All right. Yeah, I can't talk you off Nashville right now. I said it yesterday. Even though I have the Canes minus 1.5, I was kind of worried about them losing back-to-back off a long winning streak, and that's exactly what happened. But moving on along to the next game, Tampa Bay Lightning and the Winnipeg Jets. Tampa Bay minus 102 to minus 110. Winnipeg minus 108 to minus 112. 6s right across the board at all the books. So pretty close prices with this game here. And I don't have anything. Actually, no, sorry, incorrect. Braden Point to score, plus 140. continues to score. Was the only goal against Minnesota that Tampa Bay was able to score was Braden Point. He is hot, hot, hot. So plus 140 for him to score. That is the only play I have in this game. Obviously, everyone knows if you haven't watched the last few, if you didn't watch the other show the other day, I did lock in the Minnesota Wild to win the Central Division at plus 550. So obviously, I am rooting for Tampa as a fan in this game to beat Winnipeg because the Wild are chasing Winnipeg in the standings. And Winnipeg is getting 4 players back. And I just think, obviously, you're supposed to fade a team when they get a star player back. Well, Winnipeg is getting 4 back. I think there's going to be a lot of bad passes. Chemistry might not be there, especially in this first game. So I want to talk anybody off the over 6. It looks like it'll be Hellebuck against Vasilevsky, but that could definitely change. If it's Elliott in net, I'll like the over a bit more. But ultimately, right now, just Braden Point to score. That's all I'm getting into in this game. I don't want anything with Winnipeg props because I got to see how the team does all back together again. Richie says, Jets, hey, best of luck. And sorry, Terry. Hey, don't be sorry. I'm not on Tampa. Obviously, I don't really like the Jets being a divisional opponent of the Wild, but don't be sorry. Bet what you like. Make your money. Speaking about games to make money in, I don't know about this one, but Arizona Coyotes and the Chicago Blackhawks. Arizona minus 104 to minus 115. Chicago minus 104 to minus 115. Sixes right across the board in this one. So we are seeing some close games, obviously between 2 really good teams in Winnipeg and Tampa Bay, and then 2 teams like Arizona and Chicago in this one. This game, I legit do not have any bets in. How I look at it, Chicago, if they're ever going to win a game, they're at home, and they have Arizona coming in. Obviously, Arizona is a good home team this year, but on the road, not so much. But then I look at it on the other side. Arizona struggling on the road, but if they're going to get a win on the road, it's against this Chicago team. So I'm really, it's close for a reason. I could see Arizona winning this game, upsetting. It will be Connor Ingram in net. I know people see that and might think that that's a reason to jump on Chicago. Vejmelka didn't look too good yesterday. I don't really think having Ingram in net is going to hurt the Coyotes in this spot because it's the Blackhawks. So this game's ultimately a pass. I'm not going to force a play, especially in a game like that. But if anybody else likes anything, make money. That's the point of betting for sure. Feels like it should be over 6, but I hate betting on bad teams to score. That's exactly it. It should be an over 6 with Ingram especially. Alex Stalock's played well lately. He's played well, considering he's done a lot better than I expected him to do on this Blackhawks roster. So that's the only reason that would keep me off. And Chicago's offense, too, is just bad. And apparently Patrick Kane will not be in the lineup today either, so that hurts Chicago, but it is what it is. Moving on along to the next one, we have the New York Islanders on a back-to-back heading to Calgary. Obviously, they played in Edmonton yesterday. Edmonton, a house of horrors for them. Calgary, not so much, a little bit more even. Obviously, Calgary's won the last few games, but Islanders don't have a long losing streak in Calgary like they do in Edmonton. You can get the Islanders plus 175, or sorry, plus 170 to plus 190. Calgary minus 200 to minus 230. Sixes and 5.5s. There's like 5.5s there, so it's evenly split between the 5.5 and 6. Just seeing all those 5.5s makes me think it's 2 years ago, because 2 years ago there was a lot more 5.5s. We don't really see them as of late. This year, Calgary's been trending to the under. a lot more than they were earlier on in the year. The Islanders, they've always been known as more of an under team, especially last year, but at times this year, their games have gone over. So I could see an over 5.5 in this one if I had to pull the trigger on anything. But this game is another pass for me. I just don't really like it too much. Everyone be making plays on Arizona as of late. Now they play the Blackhawks and people get cold feet. What the fuck? Well, people have probably been betting Arizona because of the plus price that you get with them. And I've taken Arizona against Toronto both times because for whatever reason, Toronto struggles against Arizona. But yeah, I can see why you're thinking that. Calgary's been trending to losing. Yeah. I need 2 good underdogs parlay. Well, I can't really help you with that because I am not on any dogs today, but I'm not on any favorites either. So it's a totals day for me, totals and props on this slate. But we'll look at it here after we go over this last game, and we'll try to find you 2 dogs. Moving on into the last game, and here's another bum fight, but this is one I have a couple bets in. We have the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks. San Jose minus 138 to minus 160. Anaheim plus 125 to plus 140. 6.5s right across the board in this one. I put this up as a free play on picks and parlays in this game. San Jose, if you look at what they've done lately, it's go over. They've had very high scoring games, over 6.5 in their last 7 games in a row. Kaapo Kähkönen will start in goal for San Jose. He sure looks a lot different in San Jose than he did Minnesota. 6 of his last 7 starts have gone over 6.5. Anaheim, though, have gone over once in their last 7 games. They've been an under team as of late, and that's because they have struggled to find the back of the net, scoring more than 2 goals one time, and that was their win, a 3-2 shootout win against Vegas. But when you look at when these teams have faced each other, all 3 meetings this year have gone over 6.5. And I like goals in this one. In net, as I said, it'll be Kaapo Kähkönen for San Jose. And we have lately for the Anaheim Ducks, it's been Gibson, it's been Lucas Dostal helping keep those games under. But Anthony Stolarz will be making his return to the net in this one. That makes me like the over more because, as I said, Gibson has been playing well, which is the only thing that was kind of making me worry about the over a little bit, was that Gibson has been playing so well, but it won't be Gibson. So it'll be Stolarz in net. I love the over in this one. These 2 teams have very high scoring games when they face each other. So I took the over 6.5 at plus 100, plus money for that. And I have 1 prop in this game. Really looking at it, if you're looking at props in this game, it's got to be Erik Karlsson over 1.5 points, plus 126. You could look at him for over 1.5 assists, which you can get at a bigger plus price. I went with the points in case he does score, but he has been just multi-assists games for a while now. And if I had to pick a side, it would be the San Jose Sharks, but minus 138 in one spot. Everywhere else, minus 155 to minus 160. I can't recommend betting San Jose Sharks at minus 160. I just can't. Even though they have won 8 of the last 10 against Anaheim, they have kind of dominated them, but I can't recommend them. Richie says Preds and Islanders as the 2 dogs. And Isaac says Islanders and Red Wings, not Preds. Richie is leaning Red Wings, and I think the Panthers are due for a winning streak. Florida, I don't know. Like we said, like I said earlier on a previous show, Florida and Calgary both took two huge steps back with the trade. Obviously, it looks like it would help Calgary a bit more, but both teams have kind of struggled. I I don't know if Florida goes on a win streak. Honestly, I don't really think they're that good of a team. But if there's going to be a spot for them, maybe to win back-to-back games, this is it. So try to look here before I give out my best bet. Looking at the two underdogs, Tampa Bay, Winnipeg, and Arizona, Chicago. None of them are really dogs because none of them are plus money. So that kind of takes out two games there. I want to go with Anaheim. I want to go with Nashville either. So I honestly I can't help you out there, Kev. But I'm glad the other guys put in dogs for you because I just maybe two underdogs win, but I'm not confident in it on today's slate. So going to best bets, I've been hot at my best bets lately. Things have been going well, and I'm going. Okay, so I'm going to give you an over, and I'm going to give you a player prop too. Worked out pretty good. So two best bets again. For my main one, San Jose, Anaheim, over 6.5 plus money. I think we get a high scoring game to end off the night. And then when it comes to a player prop, okay, you can take Ovechkin, but that's plus 100. I say go Braden Point plus 140. I don't like taking a goal scoring prop against Hellebuyck, but it is what it is. Braden Point has been hot. So Braden Point plus 140 as my goal scoring best bet, and my side/total best bet. I don't have any sides today, but my total best bet over 6.5 in San Jose and Anaheim. Crystal says, I would do Panthers as a dog. They're famous for beating up on lower teams like Detroit. Sorry, Red Wings fans. And there's Detroit Lenny, who is watching and is ready for that. Crystal says, sorry, Lenny, because she probably didn't know that Lenny was watching there. And then Richie says, not Detroit. Yeah, today I don't have any dogs, but that is today's show. We'll probably do a show again tomorrow, probably do it at noon. But keep an eye on the channel for a video and upcoming live streams posted for tomorrow. But best of luck to everybody. Yeah, Panthers aren't dogs today. That's for sure. If they were, Crystal would bet them. But best of luck to everybody on your bets tonight. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Let's all make some money. We'll see you again tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry and friends. Best of luck, guys.